cool? Oh my God, those people are looking at us.
She's the monster.
While Gloria is in her small town, news surfaces that a giant monster is destroying Seoul, Korea. So as the movie continues, Gloria starts to realize that she is connected to this monster.
So this movie had its moments. It definitely piqued our interest, and one of the main things that piqued our interest was the idea behind it. No, so at the beginning of the movie, you get Anne Hathaway playing Gloria, and she's being dumped by her boyfriend due to her alcoholism. And when I say alcoholism, I don't mean drop dead over the, like, it's more so like, he feels like the only time he really sees her is like when she's kind of hungover, or when she's, she's saying she's going to be home at a certain time, and he's just fed up with it.
Yeah.
He's tired of it, and so you're like, okay, like, she has a problem, and you see that in the beginning of the movie. You see her kind of eyeing like beer bottles and things like that, and you see, okay, this is actually like an actual thing. Like, okay, I'm interested to see where this goes. And then you bring in this monster in Seoul, South Korea, and you actually see that at the very beginning of the film, and you're like, okay, this is playing with some weird concepts here. Like, neither of them seem interconnected, and I just wonder like where they're gonna go with this.
So it sounds like a run-of-the-mill story at first. It's just a girl that's like down on her luck, gets dumped by her boyfriend because of alcoholism. But like you said, once you introduce a giant monster that's destroying the city, but it's also not in the vein of Godzilla. It's not a horror movie. It's not an action movie either. Then you start to get, a little interested in like, where is this movie exactly going? Now that's one thing that we really liked about this movie, and it kind of kept our interest through the entire film.
Right.
But the problem is, we were wondering where it was going, but it also seemed like it didn't really know what it wanted to be either.
At all.
There were times where it was kind of funny. It was kind of sci-fi-ish, just because we're trying to figure out, how this monster, appears at a certain time, and like how he's connected to her, how she's connected to it.
It just seems like the screenwriters had all these different ideas that they wanted to play around with, and they were good ideas to start off with, but none of them get fleshed out. None of them actually see, they see a resolution in a certain sense, but they're kind of like a slapshot resolution. It's kind of just like, I'm taking a chance with this one, let's see how it goes, and it just didn't seem like a focused film, and that was a huge drawback for me.
Now, the acting wasn't bad in this movie. Jason Sudeikis and Anne Hathaway both do a really good job at portraying the characters. I mean, they're both great actors. The problem is the way it's filmed, the way it's written, and the way these characters interact with each other through, I feel, either the directing and or the writing.
Yeah, the screenwriting,
It makes it so that it's kind of confusing for the audience. You don't really know exactly where each person's motives are at a certain time, at a certain scene. After a scene ends, you're kind of wondering, like, is that how he was supposed to act? What kind of movie? Is this a comedy movie?
Right. Is this a thriller?
Is this a thriller?
Yeah.
There's some dark scenes in it too, but also some really weird, light-hearted scenes.
It's an interesting concept because it's one of those things where, like you said, it keeps your interest because you're like, we like mystery, and not in the traditional sense. And this has no traditional sense of mystery. It just kind of leaves you, where are we going? And I think one of the bad spots about this movie as well is that you don't care about any of the characters either. Stuff happens to Anne Hathaway, and you're just like, well, you're a dummy anyway, so I really don't care, like, if you get hurt.
You're supposed to root for her through this film. She's the main character. She's hit rock bottom, getting dumped by her boyfriend. She's an alcoholic, obviously, but...
we say alcoholism, and it's not really, like, even an alcoholism. No. It's kind of like where you see your best friend who's 26 who can't get out of the 21 and older drinking phase.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's still kind of cute, but you're annoying.
Yeah,
like,
it's not like the movie, what is it, Flight?
Flight with Denzel, where it's like, okay, this is... we're digging into some...
It was just a tool that the writers used to explain away things. Like, why is he acting this way? Why is he mad? Oh, he was drinking a little bit of beer. Like, for one, they're only drinking beer. I never seen them drink shots. And I'm like, these guys are lightweights for people.
Was one
they
time,
own a bar.
Right. It just seemed like the motivations with the characters were half-assed. It seemed like they didn't know where they wanted to take these characters on their journey, what they wanted to end them with. And it's just kind of like, that was a huge throwaway for me.
So the problem the movie had is that it tries to force too many things that aren't believable.
Right.
And they get lazy. Like I said before, they make her an alcoholic. So it's like, oh, why is she hit rock bottom? Because she's an alcoholic. Why is he acting this way? Because he's an alcoholic. And the problem is that it's just lazy. Like you said before, we don't really care about the characters. I mean, there's a lot of South Koreans who are getting destroyed and getting killed by this, like monster. Hundreds of thousands, and we do not care about them at all.
Kind of like, Like, I'm sorry that happened to your building, your hometown, but you should have moved. Like, you knew, like...
But that's a failure on the director, and that's a failure on the writer, because the thing is, they wanted us to... It's not a good sign when you could see through what the director and the writer wanted to do. They didn't do it. And you're like sitting there going, oh, well, you really struck out there with that
you're just kind of like, huh. And it's weird because you said this director did Time Crimes.
Did Time Crimes?
I thought Time Crimes was pretty damn good. Good time travel movie. This, I don't know. Like, I just maybe swing and a miss. And it didn't even get horrible reviews, but it just did not hold our interest for the entire hour and 45 minutes, plus the 4 minutes for the end credits.
So for my final review, I really didn't enjoy this movie. It had a beginning, middle, and end, as we always say.
The best part of every movie.
It has a beginning, middle, and end, but the problem was it wasn't boring to watch. It's just like nothing worked, and it was all fluid. You don't really know where it's going. The characters.
You don't want warm porridge, man.
No, it's just warm porridge that somehow misses the mark sometimes. Like, how does warm porridge miss the mark sometimes? I don't understand that. It's warm porridge. It's supposed to be like solid. It's supposed to be the same every time. But no, it's for some reason it just misses the mark. You know where it's going. It might be pretty boring to some of you guys, and at the same time, the only thing that holds the attention for an audience member is the fact that there is a big monster and you're trying to figure out how these things are connected.
How is it connected?
But that's about it. That's really the only saving grace of this movie, and I give it a 6 out of 10.
I'm going to go with a 6.5. Mm-hmm. Interesting story. The premise, I applaud them tremendously for the premise, because I like any movie that just dares to do something unique and different. But when you miss the mark on everything else, it's not enough to overshadow the shortcomings of this film. And there is talent here in front of and behind the camera. It's just misplaced. And I wanted so much more. Like Ken said, you're interested. You're like, how are these connected? How are these connected? How are these connected? And then when you find out when they're connected, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. What's the next movie we're going to watch? Yeah. So it's just kind of flat. Sorry to the people making this movie, but it just didn't hold our interest the way it should have.
So what did you guys think of the movie? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys love it? Please comment below. Well, this is Black and Yellow Movies. Please subscribe and like our videos. We have other independent and foreign movies that we think you should watch.
Oh, yeah. So click on those links and, we'll see you.
Yeah, so we'll be back next week for another independent and foreign movie. See you.